Oh, excellent. There we go. Okay, so we're here in the economic impact tool, and we're going to start off on the capital expenditure side of things. That's that first component of actually standing up that data center. Um, so first off, we can choose our impact region as well as kind of the event region. So if we choose that, we have two things to input. One, what are we interested in understanding the impact for? Do we want the impact for the entire state of Utah or just for the individual county?
Yeah.
Which would you like to look at now?
Um, First for the county.
Okay.
It's Iron County. Yeah.
Okay. What was it? Sorry.
Iron?
Iron.
Yeah, sorry.
All good. Sorry, I'm not sure how to
O
spell it.
O N.
Oh, okay, just Iron County. Awesome. There we are. So Iron County, and then the event region, that's like where the data center is being built, right? So this is, in this case, the exact same. I would just put in Iron County, but I'm just going to deselect that different event region since our impact region and the event region are the same.
Okay.
Um, Sometimes this can be useful if you know, hey, the data center is going to be in Iron County here, but you want to know the impact to the entire state. You can do that too. But
Can
for
you
now, go ahead.
can you do uh a different type of region, like maybe 50 miles from a point or something like that?
Um, Sort of. We can do that, but economic impact, this tool can only be run at the county level.
Okay.
So if we want to look at all of the counties within 50 miles of the data center, we could do that. Um,
One at a time or how to?
sure. So the way that we would kind of create a custom region is going over here to our customizations
No.
page. And then we'll hit new in the top right here to create a new custom region. And we'll call this, I don't know, Iron County 50 miles. Uh, and One, it's just centered on Richmond because that's where I am. And you say Iron County is it one of these guys?
Yeah, Cedar City. Yep.
Yes, right here. Okay. Um, so I could use this fourth tool here, and this is that mileage radius tool. So I could put in 50 miles, and if I just type in Iron County, Utah here, it's going to use the center of the county.
Uh-huh.
But we could also plug in the address. Is it within Cedar City?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So I'm going to remove this. So if you know the exact address, or I can just, whoops, um, put in 50 miles, and instead of typing in Iron County, Utah here, sorry, I keep moving my mouse.
Okay.
50 miles of an address, latitude or longitude, or click on the map.
Okay.
Um, is it close to the airport or kind of
That I am not sure.
Okay, so I'll just click kind of right on the city here, and
Yeah.
it will do 50 miles here.
Okay.
Now, the way this will work is this will create a custom region based on every single county that this 50 mileage radius touches.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Right. So in this case, we're really only looking at kind of these two counties, right? Iron County and St. George.
Yeah. I think it's Washington County.
Right. So if I compile this, it's actually going to include every single county, which is probably too large, right?
Yeah.
Um, so in this case, maybe we just want to look at these two counties, Iron County and Washington County together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, okay, then I'm just going to remove that mileage radius so it doesn't add in all those extra counties. When
Okay.
I hit compile up here, I'm going to hit save and compile. This is going to quickly just group those two counties together. And I'm actually going to rename this region something more descriptive. So I'm not thinking that this is an exact 50-mile radius. So we'll just call
Yeah.
this Iron
Um,
and Washington counties. Utah
yeah.
here. I'll just resave it. Uh, and just to confirm, we know exactly what this region is going to look like. I can hit region preview, and this is just a map of those two counties combined.
Yeah.
So once we pull data, run that economic impact, this is the region that will be representative of those data.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Awesome. So we have that done. Next, we can jump right back into economic impact. I can hit run analytics up here at the top and jump right back into our, sorry, it's actually not a quick link, but that's no problem. I'll
Yeah.
just jump back to the home page here for JobsEQ and jump right back into economic impact where we were earlier. And instead of typing in Iron County, I'll type in Iron and Washington, and we see that custom region that we created shows up right there.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. So our next step here is to type in the impacted industry. So our instinct would be to type in the data center or find the correct industry code representing data centers.
Yeah.
Um, which I'm forgetting. It's yeah, five. Always forget the exact name, but we can use this
Yeah.
explore. Do you have the NAICS code by chance offhand?
Um,
We can look it up if you
yeah.
don't.
Yeah, let's look it up.
Okay, so I'll hit this Explore Industries icon over there on the right to bring up this kind of drop down for all of the industry codes. And for data centers, it would be under Information.
Mhm.
And then computing infrastructure providers, data processing. This is probably what we want.
Yeah, I think this is good.
5182 all the way down. Yeah. Okay. So it's the same code all the way down 518210.
By
Computing.
any chance,
Mhm.
I have not dig very well, but is this the code that does only uh those data centers that are renting facilities instead of renting and owned? I don't know if you know. If not, that's okay.
Right. That's a good question.
No worries, I can look into it.
Right.
But either way, I would do the same
Mhm.
process.
Yes, I have a feeling that in this case, both rental and own are probably under the same industry code. There's a chance that renting is might be somewhere else like that, might even be under like, oh, I'm not sure. I don't want to risk and but it might be under, I mean, it could be under rental real estate, it could be under software publishing. That's a great question. But in this case, we have this data center industry
Yeah.
here. Um, this is how we would look that up. However, we still need to keep in mind, in this case, we're talking about the capital expenditure, the actual building of the data center. The rule with economic impact, or the trick mentally for me, is follow the money.
Right.
Of, hey, this data center is being built. We're not paying the data center to build it. We're paying construction companies and engineering companies and all of those industries to actually build the actual data center. So this is not the industry code that we want. We
Oh,
need to, yeah. So this is a case where, hey, we know we're going to spend, I have no idea what the cost is going to be, but $50 million on a construction company. Um, we need to plug that construction company in. So we'll try to find the correct construction industry code. So construction of buildings here, non-residential building construction, um, probably I'm guessing it's going to be commercial, but we might need to look up exactly what that industry code represents.
yeah.
Um, so we would select this industry, hit apply, and it's just going to fill it in right here for us. And then this is where we need to know, hey, how much money are we spending on that construction company? Um, so I'll switch our event type to kind of sales or output, $50 million here.
Uh, it's confidential, but let's run it with 50 to see what it.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure, sure. So I'll plug in 50 there. Um, and we're able to see, okay, spending $50 million on commercial and institutional building construction here. That's associated with direct impact of this construction company or companies employing 219 workers associated with that 50 million sales or output.
Yeah. And that is for the construction, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, that is just for this capital expense of this
Mhm.
construction. And then we have the indirect impact, the induced impact, the total impact here. Um, The indirect impact, just as a refresher here, these are 22 additional jobs that are supported by this $50 million in construction spending, right? So construction, they're going to spend money on steel and wood, and they have to buy accounting software and all of the other goods and services that a construction company needs to pay for, right? So their win is their supplier's win as well. And then those construction workers and the supplier employees are spending their money on goods and services in the local economy. They're buying lunch every day. They're paying rent. They're paying for healthcare, going to the movies, going out to eat, whatever that might be. That's that induced impact of where workers spend their wages here.
So I
Uh,
guess for most, I'm taking a bigger picture. For
mhm.
most economic impacts analysis, I would use some construction, either this one, the commercial, or the other as the industry.
Yes, as one component of the capital expenditure portion. We're still in that
Right.
kind of first
Yeah.
segment. Um, this is where we would want to look at, okay, in an ideal world, we have that um, line item by line item of, hey, $50 million is going to be spent on the construction company. We might spend another $20 million on an engineering or design company.
Oh, I see.
And we
Yeah.
would then need to put in that industry, plug in that event size, and run it as well. And we can basically add up the impacts all
Right.
together under that capital expenditure
Okay.
bucket. Uh,
I see what you mean. Yeah.
so that's how this would work. There, all of these numbers are annual, meaning this is thinking that, hey, we're spending $50 million on the construction industry in 1 year, and that supports 219 jobs for that full year. So if that $50 million was spread over like 5 years, then we would figure that it wouldn't be 219 jobs every single year for 5 years. It would be, um, I think you can just divide that number by five, and it would be that many construction jobs each year for 5 years.
Okay. If
Um,
I have the budget per year, then just plug in whatever number that is.
yes, you can do that. All of these values are going to be in current year dollars.
Okay.
So there'll be a little adjustment there. And this is where this is getting a little tricky because this is basically becoming a full economic impact study, where this
Yeah.
is an entire industry, and actually something that our consulting team does pretty often.
Huh.
Um, um,
Okay.
yeah. So we have to keep that in mind as well. But that's the basic structure for, hey, we need to follow the money. Okay, $50 million to construction companies. We'll put that in. $20 million to design companies. Um, and so on, just down the line. Um,
Right.
and we're able to see, hey, spending that $50 million on the construction companies, where are those induced and indirect impacts? So we're seeing a lot of things like concrete manufacturing. We're supporting 2 additional jobs in concrete manufacturing because that's a supplier industry. Um, where some good induced impacts here. Yeah, 4 jobs at wired telecommunications carriers because our employees need cell phones. They're
Hmm.
paying for cell phone plans there. So we're able to go through this and see where all of those services uh, are impacted.
Right.
Does this make sense for the typical capital expenditure structure
I
of,
think, yeah.
yeah, basically just follow the money and
Right.
putting this in? Uh,
Yeah.
okay.
So there's another option there. Employment.
Yes, and this is one, so this depends on kind of what knowledge do you know? Do you know that you're going to spend $50 million on the construction industry, or do you
Mhm.
know that they're going to be 200 workers working
Okay.
on that facility in construction?
Right.
Um, for capital expenditures, typically you're going to know the budget,
Yeah.
not so much the employment count. But
Yeah.
so that's kind of why I went with that approach.
And I think you're right. For the construction part or the capital, the first part, I guess,
Mhm.
we know the budget. For
Yes.
the operations, we know the employment.
Exactly. And so for those ongoing operations, this is also why I saved this for second. One, because it's easier.
Yeah.
Because one, we're just going to put in that data center industry, right? What was it? 518210? Yeah, there it is.
Wow.
Computing
You have a good
infrastructure.
memory.
I was hoping I was right there. I wasn't entirely confident, but glad we got it here.
You got
Uh,
it.
Excellent. So we've got it there, that data center industry, and then employment here. So how many employees are they going to employ each year?
Yeah.
So I mean, data centers typically don't have that much employment each year, so the
Right.
ongoing operations is going to be smaller. I mean, whether it's 10 or 20, I'm not sure.
Mhm.
But if I just put in 10 here, we're able to see, hey, yes, the 10 employees at that data center each year are going to generate kind of that 6.1, 6.2 millions in direct economic impact from the sales or output from that data center. Um, and then the compensation associated with those 10 employees, the GDP here.
So this project is gonna be uh growing 1 year at a time. So 1 year is gonna be this much, and I don't even know the number of how much each year it's gonna grow, but how would I calculate that?
Right. So that's one where you might need to just put in the number of employees each individual year
Okay.
and see, okay, if it's 10 employees one year and if it's 15 the next year, we have the new numbers for those.
Okay.
Um, keeping in mind that these are current year figures.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but that would generally be the approach for handling that.
That'll probably
Um,
get tricky on the analysis side. If you want
yes,
to be super precise.
right. You could apply some inflation or
Mhm.
real spending adjustment factors,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
if you'd like, but that's
That's tricky with what we have to work with. I'm guessing then you just if you wanted to get super extra mega precise, which I don't know if my manager wants to, or if he just wants to get a general ballpark, but I'm guessing the consulting team might be able to.
Mhm.
help with that. Are you part of the consulting
Um,
team?
I used to be. That's where I started. I spent 6, 7 years on the consulting team. Uh,
Wow.
and I've been with Chimera for about 11 years now.
Wow.
Left consulting. I wanted to get a bit more into the software data governance side of the house, into kind of the back end for how our models work behind JobsEQ. So that's where I've been for the past 5, 6 years or so, as
Wow.
well as kind of continuing a pseudo consulting role within this training team, working
Yeah.
with you, like our clients, making sure you're able to get the most you can out of JobsEQ here.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's good to know because um putting all of this to the side,
Mhm.
uh I'd be interested in talking to you maybe about like what does it look like working at Chamora and whatnot.
Yeah,
Uh, because
yeah,
this part of economics, it's very interesting, at least to me.
definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
And we've got a good team of very strong economists that basically built this system from the ground up, developing our own internal uh, economic impact multipliers
Right.
and making sure the model's always working as intended.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds good. Sorry for the commercial.
Oh yeah, yeah, no problem, no problem. But yeah, so that would be the structure for kind of that ongoing operations side of things. Um, this is a little tricky because we know how profitable data centers have become over the years.
Mhm.
Um, and data centers built for specific purposes can be a lot more profitable than others, whatever that might be. So this is there are some limits to these NAICS codes, to these industry codes,
Yeah.
where we might not be able to see how reasonable the sales or output number is. This could be off by quite a bit depending on the exact function of that data center.
Mhm.
To be quite honest here, this is one of those cases where the federal system has not caught up with technology, right? Um, so that might be one where we need to do some literature review to see, hey, how much economic impact is generated by comparable data centers that have been built across the country. And I have a feeling there's actually quite a lot of material available on that.
Mhm.
But
Okay.
that would be the structure. And again, we've got our help resources available to us here within live chat. And then if you'd like to use the new AI assistant built into JobsEQ, this is available. If it's turned on in your license, which I'm not positive about. I can check that real quick here. Um, but we can always turn that on for you if you
Yeah,
would
I
like.
think.
It does look like it's on. Excellent.
Yeah. Yeah. Jason was mentioning that I could always look into that
Mhm.
and like help me refine my analysis and whatnot.
Yeah, and it's trained on a lot of our kind of back-end materials, so it's pretty powerful. If you were to ask it similar questions of I'm like interested in understanding the economic impact of a new data center in Iron County, Utah. We can see what it says. This is always a little risky trying this in real time and seeing what's AI going to say, but it's generally pretty darn well trained, um, and uh, and will kind of describe exactly how this is going to work here.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a little generic here. We could ask it further questions about um, uh, what about the construction of the data center. and kind of see what it says. Always need to be a little careful with AI. If it doesn't smell right, we can always ask our live chat team to confirm. But in this case, yes, it's kind of getting at that same structure that I talked about, the construction or capital expenditure phase, as well as the ongoing operation phase.
Right. This is good. You know your stuff, Alex.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad I've learned a thing or two over the past 10, 11 years.
Yeah, when no, definitely. When you look into economic impact analysis at first, it looks very simple, like, oh, this is all I need to know. And it's like, oh, okay.
Mhm.
But then once you start explaining, oh, okay, okay. And then
Right.
you have to add it up and select the correct industry and first phase, second phase, whatever.
Mhm.
Okay. All right.
Definitely. Yeah, can be a little tricky, but once you start figuring out, okay, this is the exact question I need to ask, that's when it gets easier, right? It's figuring out the right question to ask of the software is usually the harder part.
Let me uh how do I get out of oh, okay. He my manager or the
Hmm.
CEO share with me, okay, I'm gonna put those in the chat and tell me I'm way off or he's way off or whatever. Um, because he has the deliverable document
Okay.
and one of the one of the uh one of the deliverables inside the deliverable is the economic impact. Um, he has, I'm gonna put it on the chat.
Okay.
He has this for the construction phase, and I'm not sure. I was gonna look into it on my own,
Okay.
but if you could help me guide me, that'd be great.
Okay.
And there is a chance I understand that with what we have, we might not be able to get everything. I keep kind of thinking that hiring the consulting team might be the best option, but the budget, since it's a startup that he has,
Mhm.
might not be feasible for him to hire the consulting team. But
Right.
if we could do anything with the app, that'd be awesome.
Okay. Okay, so model the impact over the entire multi-year construction life cycle. Right. So that's one where we need to figure out, okay, and we might be able to figure that out from the contract with the construction company or companies, of like, hey, how much are you going to pay them each year to actually build this?
Hmm.
Um, and then we can plug in those numbers into economic impact, and basically that's year by year.
Yeah.
Um, the total full-time equivalent jobs, that's just our output here, right? Employment.
Okay.
Total labor income payroll. Um, so we have compensation here, which is this is a component of sales or output. Excuse me.
That's
We're sorry.
I was gonna say that's okay. That yeah, you cough it. No worries.
Thanks. Um, where we're able to see, okay, not just salary, but benefits are also included within compensation here. So that speaks to the total labor income or payroll number. Value add, um, I might need to do a quick search, but I believe value add is synonymous with the ripple effects or the indirect and induced impact. So the value add is basically the additional impact beyond just the direct impact. So it's the 17 plus 10 additional jobs supported. It's the 2.5 million plus 2.1 million in additional sales or output for the region that's created. And then the total economic output is that total impact here. So 42 total jobs supported, 13, 14 million total in output each year. And again, sorry, I'm realizing I'm speaking to all of this from the ongoing operations phase. This is all related to the construction phase. So in this case, we should go back to the construction.
Okay, I was just gonna ask if it looks the same. If it looks the same, that's fine. But yeah, we should probably change it.
Yeah, okay. So uh, of what was it? 236.
I think it was commercial something.
Yeah, commercial and institutional building construction.
I think that's what we used first.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. So in this case, if we go back to putting $50 million as our event,
Yeah.
hitting run, so we're seeing again the number of total jobs supported, um, and this is in a just in a single year. Um,
Yeah.
Total labor income payroll. Again, that's our compensation figures. Value add, probably the indirect and induced combined, those ripple effects. And then the, excuse me, the total economic output is just that total impact here of 344 jobs and $74 million in sales or revenue. And this is just the total impact from the construction industries from that $50 million to these two counties.
Right. Um, let's say out of those 50, and I think I might have asked this before, but just a quick refresher. They spend if the project is 5 years, they
Mhm.
spend 10 each year, let's just say. I just add them,
Uh,
or I'm not sure if I'm explaining. Maybe let's say the first year they spend 20, and then the second 10, the third 10, and then the fourth and fifth 5 each.
mhm.
Do I just add them? Like if I want to say this is the impact for the first year, the second year is the first year plus the second year. Is that accurate? Does that make sense?
That does make sense.
Like if I also wanted to say this is the impact for the third year, so I take the first year results, the second year results, and the third year results and add them to give a figure. Is that
For all 3 years combined.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
That's one way you can do it that way. Again, they're all current year dollars.
Right.
Um, but otherwise, yes, you would be able to put in just 20 for the first year, 10 for the second and third years, and then five for the fourth and fifth years, and then basically add them all year by year.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. When you say current, I'm just curious about picking your brain on the economic side. When you say current, I mean, we just started 2026, but the data comes from like 2025 or 2024. Um, The most current data that you have at this moment.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, in this case, it's 2025 Q2.
Mm,
That's what these figures represent. In about a month or so, they'll be as of Q3.
okay. All right. Yeah, I'm just my mind sometimes goes in like a little off-road to
Sure,
check something.
sure. Little tangent.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Just I like to understand how things sometimes work in the back end to
Mhm.
make sure I'm giving the right answer. And
Definitely.
sometimes people don't appreciate that. Sometimes they do.
Right, right.
Sometimes they're like, just give me the number, man. And I'm like, but wait, there is, if you want a precise answer or an accurate answer, then you have to make sure you understand that. But anyways, yeah,
Mhm.
just okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Um, and then wages here. This last bit is interesting. Annual average annual wage and benefits for construction. Um, this is this is tricky because compensation here, this includes again wage and benefits for these workers. And I'm not entirely sure if we can do a direct county comparison for everything. Um, because I mean, one, we have kind of simple division, right? Compensation of $2.1 million for 22 direct workers employed, right? So dividing 2.1, 2.2 by 22 here, we have an average per worker compensation of a little under $100,000.
Mhm. Yeah,
Um,
I'm guessing that's what he means.
right. So we can do it that way. We can look at that's going to be different from the average wage that we would see elsewhere in JobsEQ, is what I'm thinking through. Because
Right.
compensation it is based on different factors. Where if we look at something like um, industry snapshot or occupation snapshot, for example, if yeah, if we just look at industry snapshot here and put in the same two county region, Iron and Washington counties here, and run this for all industries, we're going to see the construction industry here pays an
Mhm.
average annual wage of $55,000.
Yeah, that's where my brain was going a little bit like, can I look at it that way?
Yes, and in this case, you can do a direct wage comparison for the entire construction industry here of $55,000 to the two county average wage overall of $50,000.67. So your boss will probably like this, right? Because this is a nice number where the construction industry pays a higher wage than the average wage for the county.
Hmm.
But that does not include benefits. This is straight industry wage. So this
Yeah.
includes not just individual construction workers, but this includes executives that work for construction companies.
Hmm.
So that can be a little tricky. Where we would really hone in on exact construction workers is we could click on construction here. And then jump into our industry occupation mix tool. And this will show us all of the actual jobs, the workers employed in the construction industry in these two counties. For example, there are 2,100 construction laborers employed in the construction industry in Iron and Washington counties, and they make an average annual wage of $47,000.
Mm.
A lot of carpenters also employed in the construction industry, making $53,000. Supervisors are making a significant bit more at 77,000. Cement masons, 55,800, electricians, so on. So these are more the actual job functions, these occupation codes,
Mm-hmm.
and what their wages are within the construction industry for these two counties.
The wages, if we did the division that you mentioned, this is a lot lower per employee.
It is, and this is another kind of the devil is in the details kind of thing where we're now looking at occupation wages, and occupation wages are not directly comparable to industry wages because of the raw data sources. There are
Right.
some benefits that are included in industry wages that are not included in occupation wages, the way that the source data surveys are built. Like uh, stock options for executives are included in industry wages, but they're not for occupation wages. I
Mm.
think it's just one of like 40 different examples of differences. Um, but that's generally why occupation wages will have kind of a lower overall average for a region,
Mhm.
typically. Um,
Mm.
but we can see, yeah. It is going to be lower here, and this is much lower than the economic impact figure of that kind of
Yeah.
2.1 million. That because one, like all benefits, like healthcare, everything is included in compensation here. Um, if we
Okay.
go to our help page here, we can see exactly what's included um, in, where is it, compensation here. Yeah, both wages and benefits here.
Okay. So my manager would probably want the compensation from the impact analysis
Hmm.
and just do the division that you mentioned.
Right.
Okay. Well,
Again, this is tricky. This is why our consulting team does a lot of this, but I understand if it's not in the budget, that's understandable. Please, if that is of interest, something that you're interested in, there's no harm in just having a conversation with our team.
right. Yeah. I will pass that to him. Yeah. But hey, this is good. Can I really
Excellent.
quickly send you the ones for the operations, the
Sure.
points that, yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
That's the operation.
Okay. Got it. So for operations, this is where first step, we need to go back to actually looking at that, oops.
Data center.
Yeah, now I'm forgetting it. 518,210. There we are.
Wow.
Excellent. Okay. So this is employment of uh, 15 workers, whatever that might be. Project
Mhm.
the total FTE jobs supported by ongoing operations, maintenance, security, IT. Yep, that makes sense. So we kind of need a starting point for how to project that, right? And this is going to be, like you said, year by year. All these numbers are going to be annual. Um, Average annual employee compensation. Okay, bingo. That's our key word there, compensation. So we can go straight to the compensation figure here of 15 workers in this industry in these two counties associated with that compensation figure. So 2.4 8 million divided by 15. That math is a little harder to do in my head. I'm not sure about that, but
It's okay.
that would be the math there. Emphasizing high wage, long-term stability.
I have a question.
Mhm.
So, and it's a little bit going back to the construction side, but it could potentially be applied to this side. And maybe I'm just not understanding the economics here very well, but some of the construction jobs are gonna be available in the region, but some will have to be like come from another region. Does that affect in any way Uh, but let's say engineers will come from Virginia to Utah for the
Hmm.
construction project. Does that affect the analysis?
Um, in this view, no, it does
Okay.
not. This is treating these as kind of brand new jobs, basically under the assumption that the rest of the economy stays kind of status quo,
Mhm.
um, which is a tricky assumption, but it's kind of too hard to precisely model, hey, this new facility is going to be built, they're going to be winners and losers elsewhere. That's not really how economic impact structure is meant to understand.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Sure, sure. Um, so second time reading this, the third bullet point, annual output, annual total economic output. So total economic output, that's going to be our sales output number
Okay.
for total, direct, indirect, and induced. Um, Labor income, I assume that's again compensation. Um, Value added from the sustained operation of the facility. So earlier I mentioned where value add might be kind of indirect plus induced. I might need a refresher myself here. Value add might also be, hey, what is the new total GDP generated
Hmm.
for the region? That might be what they're speaking to in terms of value add, because this is additional 9.6 million in gross domestic product for the region.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Looks like I have some digging to do and
Yeah,
some analysis
hopefully
to
not
do.
too daunting.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, if it gets a little bit like too much, because this is part-time, side job, side gig or whatever,
Hmm.
uh, I'm supposed to work a maximum of 5 hours a week. If it
Hmm.
gets to be more than that, if I see in an hour or two that it's like, oh man, then I'll tell him, hey, they have a consulting team that is good at this, and if I can do what he wants, which I might, and we have like a draft due today. I don't know how strict that deadline is considering, the holidays, but
Right.
um the final deliverable is like in 2 weeks or something like that. But
Hmm.
yeah. Anyways. All right.
Understood.
Seems like I got a lot of answers.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. That's what we're here for. And yeah, please feel free to reach out if there's anything you want to talk through again.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
yeah, and everything like this or something else. I appreciate it.
Sure. Sure. Definitely. Definitely. Well, I hope you have a good start to your new year.
Thank you. You
And
too.
again, yeah, please feel free to reach out if there's anything else we can help with. And it typically takes like 24 to 48 hours for the recording to compile and then
Mhm.
completely upload. So I'll probably send that to you on Monday.
Yeah, that
Awesome.
works.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds
Thank
great.
you.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.